Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cradaville with Hudson Inc. and today we are going to go over how to view and edit sites and boundaries in the Smartapply app. So on your tablet in the cab, go to the Smartapply app and go to the upper left corner, the three lines for our menu. Fifth one down is sites, click on that. And here we'll have all the sites we have loaded. So a site again is an overarching area that would contain boundaries based on crop or based on maybe farms or entities that you want separated. So if you wanted to go ahead and add a boundary or a site in the tablet, it will not sync to the web platform automatically at this time. And same thing if you create a site or a boundary in the web platform with a computer, it will not sync to the tablet. So in order to do so, to be able to sync the two, you will want to connect the tablet to Wi-Fi. And then in the upper right, we have this two arrows connected. That will sync the tablet and the internet and bring down those sites either from the web platform to the tablet or vice versa to make sure they both match. Now, if you want to add a new site on the tablet, we will see this plus in the bottom right. We'll then go in and it'll show us a map of where we are at. It'll just be a site name that we'll have to type in at the top here. Once we enter in that name, we can press save and then it will add it to our tablet. So in this case, we do have a site already listed in here, the West Central Michigan Research Center, which you can see does have 7 boundaries associated to it. So if we click on that, it'll take us down to those boundaries. So then each boundary will then have a green border around it telling us where that boundary is located. And then on the left, you'll see that we have organized the boundaries in this farm by crop, since there's multiple crops on the farm. And if we click on one, for example, it will highlight that boundary green and show us what specific area, more or less, we are looking at for that boundary. There is the settings where you can go in here and actually change some settings for the boundary itself. We do have at the top there, you'll see we have a spray configuration assigned to this boundary. And then our crop detection, we can change from auto, we can look at trunks to detect crop, or just crop spacing. And then same for crop position, we can change some options there. If we want to add a new boundary, for example, maybe on this farm, we would also go to our bottom right again, to our plus, and it'll pop up with 2 options, draw it or record it. Drawing it is going to be drawing it on the tablet screen. It's going to be using satellite imagery, and recording it is going to be actually driving the tractor and sprayer through the orchard or through the field and actually mapping out those points. So this is going to be a more accurate way by actually driving it because you're in the actual position. It's using the GPS that's included with the Smartapply kit to mark those points as you drive. Drawing it can be accurate, but also can be up to 10 to 15 feet off the actual mark on the ground, just the way with satellite imagery comes through. So we do recommend driving it for more highly accurate boundaries, but we can draw it to be able to make it easier for you if you're not able to go out and into the orchard and do so. So we will do that just to show you the example. So when we go ahead and draw it, we'll enter in a boundary name. We will call this demo just for these purposes. And then at the bottom, you draw a boundary on map. So as soon as we click this, it's going to take us to the site that we were at. So you'll see there's all of our existing boundaries. And we'll say that we're going to add this little block right here to our site. So to do so, to actually draw the boundary and make that green border around it, all we have to do is tap on the screen where the corners of the boundary are. So first we'll start with this upper right corner. We just tap it. You see that yellow marker comes up, marking that one corner. Now we'll go to the bottom right and do the same, just tap. You see that green line automatically snaps down and shows us where that line is going to be for the boundary. And we just continue to do the same. So we'll go to that corner, this corner, and then we'll see that this area in the center, these 2 yellow points, there's an area in there that is not trees. It's not really a good representation of where we want that boundary to be. So what we can do now is take this white plus marker in the center, and if you click it, it'll turn green, but it does allow us to actually drag that, to kind of move it around and be able to move that boundary away from the point of being outside of where the trees are actually located. And you'll see it's kind of the same thing up here now. We will go ahead and drag this one. And then there we will have another point also drop. So we don't actually have another yellow point that was dropped, and be able to move that boundary around to better fit where these trees are located. So one thing you want to make sure of on the drawing of the boundaries is that you are extending past the trees. So for example, on the top here, we will see that those trees end, and we'll say 20 feet past those trees with the boundary. You do want to keep this buffer in there just to make sure that when you drive and come around to the next row, make those turns, you are not driving outside of the boundary. If you do so and the GPS recognizes that you are outside of the boundary that you were supposed to be in, the Smartapply system does not spray, so it's typically not an issue if you're not in actual trees or crop where you want to spray, because it will allow it to spray again once you come back in the boundary. But we just want to usually give ourselves a little bit of a buffer just to make sure. Also, less warning lights for you on the tablet and things, so just gives us a little bit better crop reporting. So that is how you draw a boundary. Like I said, driving them is going to be a little bit more accurate, only because you are driving the physical field or the physical orchard. But that is an easy way to do so. Once you are done, just go ahead and click continue, and then we will be able to add that to our site and be able to use that in the future. As always, please let us know if you have any questions, and thank you for your business.